Hey guys, welcome back to From Zero Trading. This is my very first real chart analysis video, and honestly, I'm pretty excited about it because everything we've been covering in our previous videos, candlesticks, volumes, moving averages. Today we get to use all of that on a real stock. So the stock I picked is Tesla, and the reason I picked Tesla is simple. This is one of the most talked about stocks in the world, and between October 2024 and May 2025, it went through one of the most dramatic moves I've seen since I started learning trading. A massive uptrend, a brutal crash, and then a recovery. And the chart was telling you exactly what was happening at every single stage. You just needed to know what to look for. So let me take you through it step by step. So let me first zoom out and show you the full picture, right? So let's go to October 2022 to current. So, um, so 2024, right? So, yeah, right here, right? So this is the whole video is gonna be on this uptrend, a crash, and then the recovery. Okay, we're gonna be talking about that. So now, yeah. So in October 2024, Tesla was trading around 200 to $250 right here. By December, it had exploded all the way up to about $480. And now that is almost a 100% move in just a couple of months. Then from that $480 peak, it crashed all the way back to around $215 right over here by late March of 2025. Late March, early April, right? And now it is recovering again. This whole story happened in less than 8 months. Let me show you what the chart was saying at every turning point. So let me first zoom in to October to December 2024 uptrend, right? Right? So we start off around here. So let's start with the uptrend. If you look at October and November 2024, the price was sitting around $200, $200 to $250. And this yellow line, the 50-day moving average, was already pointing upwards with the price sitting above it. That right there is your very first signal. When price is above the rising 50 MA, the trend is bullish. You want to be on the right side of that line. And look at the candles during this period. If I zoom in a little more and you look at the candles during this period, large green candles dominating, price making higher highs consistently. And the volume, if you look at these green volume bars, strong buying volume confirming every move up. This is what a healthy trend looks like. Green candles, rising 50 MA, and strong volume. All three things aligned and pointing in the same direction. By November, of say it like early November, the price broke above $300 and just kept going. The momentum was incredibly strong. Tesla bulls were completely in control. Now, if I zoom into December 2024 to Jan 2025, right? So, this area right here, right? This area right here, price hit around $480, and this is where something started to change. Look at the candles at the very top. The large, aggressive green candles that were carrying the price started disappearing. What replaced them was smaller candles, spinning tops, and mixed red and green bodies. Remember from our previous videos what spinning tops mean? They basically mean indecision. Neither buyers nor sellers completely in control. After a massive uptrend, that kind of indecision at the top is a warning sign. And if you closely look at the 50 MA yellow line around this period, it was still rising but started to flatten slightly. The momentum was losing steam. If I zoom into Jan to Feb, right? So this period right here, around late January to into February 2025, something critical happened. Price crossed below this area right here. The price crossed below the 50 MA. That yellow line had been supporting this entire rally was now above the price. And just like we talked about it in our previous videos, whenever price crosses below a falling 50 MA, That is your signal that the trend has changed. If you closely look at the candles from Feb 20, from Feb around this area, from Feb 20 onwards, large red candles appearing, almost no green candles surviving. And the volume, massive red volume bars right here, massive red volume bars dominating. And high volume on red candles means serious selling. People are not quietly reducing positions here, they're aggressively getting out. Now, this is the standard example of fear driven selling. The 50 MA started curving downward. Price fell from around $400 all the way to around $238, right, by late February, right? And that is around a 40% drop in just a few weeks. Now let's move to March, right? If I look at March of 2025, now that was the most brutal part of this move. Price continued falling from around 340 down to approximately 215, right? The 50 MA was now far above the price and pointing steeply downward. Every time price tried to bounce, it got sold into immediately. Now look at what happened around early March, right? Let's just go back a bit. Let's look at what happened early March around here. The price was still falling, but something interesting started happening with the volume. Look at the volume bars from mid-March. They started shifting, more green volume bars appearing and growing in size. Buyers were starting to step in at these lower prices around $215 to $220. And look at the candles from late March into April, right? This area right here. You see green candles starting to appear more consistently. The selling was not done in one dramatic capitulation spike. Instead, it was a gradual exhaustion. Red candles getting smaller and green candles getting more frequent. Volume shifting towards buyers. That is the market slowly transferring from sellers to buyers at the bottom. Now let's zoom in into April. April to May, right? So if we zoom in to April, yeah, around this area right here, this part here. From late March into April and May 2025, Tesla started recovering. Price bounced from around 215 and then started climbing back up. And look at the candles during this recovery. Green candles appearing with decent volume, right? And selling exhaustion combined with buyers stepping in was creating a real bounce. And look at this moment around, if you look at May 8th, right? If you look at around May 8th, price crossed above, yes, 20th April was right. So 20th April around May 8th, price crossed above the 50 MA yellow line. And look at the candles at the crossover point. Decent sized green candles with good volume behind them. This is the market telling you the short-term trend has shifted. The 50 MA, which had been resistance during the crash, is now starting to act as support again. The 50 MA itself is starting to flatten out. It's no longer pointing steeply downward. That is another sign that the worst of the selling pressure may be over. Right? So now let me zoom back to show you the full picture, and let me bring it all together. Right? So from the October, right? So this is basically this video we've talked about the uptrend, crash, the recovery. So now what this chart taught me as a complete beginner is that the 50 MA was the single most important line on this chart. When price was above it and it was rising, pure bullish momentum. When price crossed below it and it started curving downward, the trend had changed. Get out or stay out, as simple as that. When price crossed back above it, the recovery was beginning. Volume confirmed every single major move. The biggest green volume bars appeared during the strongest parts of the uptrend. The biggest red volume bars appeared during the crash. And from mid-March onwards, the volume started shifting green, telling you buyers were stepping in at the lows. And the candlestick patterns gave you clues at every turning point. Large green candles with strong volume during the uptrend. Spinning tops and mixed candles at the peak, warning you indecision was setting in. Large red candles with massive volume during the crash, confirming sellers were in full control. and green candles with buyers step in at the bottom, signaling the potential reversal. Now, none of these signals work alone. It is when price action, volume, and candlesticks all align that you get the highest confidence read on what the market is doing. Now, this is my very first chart analysis. I genuinely love doing this, and I learned more from this single exercise than a lot of textbooks. In the coming videos, we're gonna go deeper. We're gonna keep doing these stuff, more stocks, more setups, and more real analysis. I'm learning this alongside you, and I will share everything as I figure it out. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next one.